So hello everyone, my name is Sadil Chawda. I'm in second year and I am pursuing BTech Computer Science from Bennett University. So today we are going to discuss quicksort algorithm. Quicksort is a very popular sorting method. Let us first see what is the idea behind quicksort, that is, on what basis it works. So let us see an example. So the idea is that there are a group of students in a class and the teacher asks them to arrange themselves in the increasing order of their height. So there are two options. Either the teacher arranges them one by one according to their heights by saying that you go in the front, you go at the last, or you go in the middle, and so on. This is one way. Other way can be that the teacher asks the students to arrange themselves. So each student will find their places themselves. So what will be the quick way or the faster way? Obviously, when the students will find their places themselves. So this is a basic idea of quicksort. So you can see here that out of these students, the student who is the shortest in the class will know that he is the shortest. And in this example, you can see that this student is the shortest. So he will automatically go on the first place. And after that, the student who is the tallest in the class, he automatically knows that he is the tallest. So he will go in the last position. In this example, this student is the tallest. So he will go in the last position. And now after that, the students that are in between these two students will arrange them accordingly. So let us take an example of this student. So he will tell the student in front of him that you are taller than me, so please go behind me. And this student will tell the student that you are shorter than me, so please come in front of me. So this is the basic idea of quicksort and this is how it works. Now let us look at the procedure of quicksort. So the basic strategy for quicksort is to divide and conquer. Now from divide and conquer we can understand that the complete array here will be divided into subarrays, and dividing of this array here into subarrays is known as partitioning. Here this partitioning of the array can be said as the backbone of quicksort. So now this is an array. This is low, the beginning of the list. This is high, the end of the list. As you can see, we have taken 9 elements in the list. And you can see that we have taken the last element as infinity. But as we know that infinity is not defined in the computers. But we have taken here infinity because infinity just acts as a maximum integer. And this will act as the end of the list. So now we take the first element from the left, that is 10, as the pivot element. So pivot equal to 10. As discussed above, the quicksort follows divide and conquer technique, which results in partitioning the array into subarrays. So we will partition the array in such a way that the elements that are less than this pivot element, would be in the left side of the pivot, and the elements that are greater than this pivot element would be on the right side of the pivot. If any element that is equal to this pivot element, that can go either this side, either this side, depending on the way you have implemented the code. Now let us see how the partitioning is done in the quicksort. So this is our pivot element, or you can say it as a key element. This is our partition 1 and this is our partition 2. So in partition 1, the values will always be less than the pivot element, and in partition 2, the values will always be greater than the pivot element. And the values that are equal to the pivot element, that can be on either side. That depends on the implementation of the logic. Now as you can see that we have found a proper place for a single element, that is the pivot element. And as you can see that we have divided a single array into two subarrays. Now we can guarantee that in partition 1, the elements in the partition 1 are always less than the pivot element, and elements in partition 2 are always greater than the pivot element. But we cannot guarantee that for both partition 1 and partition 2 that their elements will be sorted. So after getting this partition 1 and partition 2, we will follow the same steps. So in partition 1, we will first select a pivot element and divide this array into two subarrays. हम तब तक इसको आगे डिवाइड करते रहेंगे जब तक एक लास्ट एलिमेंट हमारे पास एक एलिमेंट नहीं बच जाता, एंड वी विल डू द सेम फॉर पार्टीशन 2. नाउ टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ दिस अरे. सो एज वी हैव टेकन द पाइवट एलिमेंट एज 10, सो हमें 10 को ऐसे सॉर्ट करना पड़ेगा कि उसके जो लेफ्ट साइड में एलिमेंट्स होंगे वो 10 से छोटे होने चाहिए और 10 के जो राइट साइड में एलिमेंट्स होंगे वो 10 से बड़े होने चाहिए. सो अगर कोई एलिमेंट अगर लेफ्ट साइड में है और वो 10 से बड़ा है तो वी नीड टू ब्रिंग इट ऑन द राइट साइड. और अगर कोई एलिमेंट 10 के राइट साइड में अगर वो 10 से छोटा है तो वी नीड टू ब्रिंग इट ऑन द लेफ्ट साइड. सो फॉर डूइंग सो वी विल टेक I starting from pivot and J starting from infinity. I will search for the elements that are greater than the pivot and J will search for the elements that are less than the pivot so that they can exchange numbers. I will at most stop at infinity and J will at most stop at the pivot. So let's start. First I will explain the procedure and then I will write its algorithm. So increment I until you find an element greater than this pivot element and decrement J until you find an element less than or equal to the pivot element. So let's start. Increment I. So next element is 16 which is greater than 10, greater than the pivot. So mark it as I. Decrement J. So the next element is 5 which is less than the pivot, less than the 10. So mark it as J. Now interchange ith and jth elements. Make it 5, make it 16. Now again increment I. But this element 8 is less than 10. So we again increment I, 12. So 12 is greater than the pivot, greater than 10. So mark it as I. Decrement J. The element is 9, which is less than the pivot, less than the 10. So mark it as J. Now interchange ith and jth elements. Make it 9 and make it 12. Now again increment I. Next element is 15, which is greater than the pivot, greater than 10. So mark it as I. Decrement J. We have an element 3, which is less than 10, less than pivot. So mark it as J. Now interchange ith and jth elements. Make it 3 and make it 15. Now again increment I. Next element is 6, which is less than 10. So I will not stop here. Again increment I. Next element is 15, which is greater than 10. So make it I. Decrement J. Next element is 6, which is less than 10. So stop J. Now don't interchange ith and jth elements because I has become greater than J. So now this means that we have found a good position, a particular position for our pivot element 10. So J, where J is, it points to the pivot. So exchange 6 and 10. So hence you can see this list is not sorted and this list is also not sorted. What is sorted? 10 is sorted. Our pivot element is sorted. So this is the partition position. Partition position. And this is how partitioning works. Now let us write a piece of code representing this. So now we are going to write algorithm of quicksort representing this example. As you can see, after partitioning, the elements on the left of 10 are smaller than 10 and elements on the right of 10 are greater than 10. But on both sides, the elements are not sorted. What is sorted? Only our pivot element. So to sort these elements on the both sides, we need to use recursive quicksort. Now we are going to write the algorithm on recursive quicksort. Now we are implementing this partition function. It takes low and high as its parameters. Now we choose first element as our pivot. As we know that we started I from low and j from h. So that's why I equal to L and j equal to h. Now first come to this do command. We know that we incremented I until we found an element greater than the pivot. So that's why do I plus plus while a of I is less than equal to pivot. Which means that keep on incrementing I and do not stop on the element that is less than the pivot. Now come to this second do command. We know that we decremented j until we found an element smaller than or equal to the pivot. That's why do j minus minus while a of j is greater than pivot. Which means that keep on decrementing j and do not stop on the element that is greater than the pivot. If I is less than j, swap a of I, comma a of j. This is just one comparison. To continue all other comparison, we put it under a while loop with condition I is less than j. when I becomes greater than j, the loop will end and the swapping will take place between a of l, that is our pivot element, and a of jth element, and at last we return j. This is how partitioning works. This is just the partition function. Now let us understand how quicksort works. Quicksort low comma high. If low is less than high, it will call the partition function passing low comma high, and this partition algorithm will return j. Now it will perform the quicksort function on the left hand side by passing low comma j from low till this j point, till this. Now it will perform the quicksort function on the right hand side from this j plus 1 till h. Now come to this part. As you can see that this element is already sorted. Then why do we need j here? See, the right hand list is having infinity. Then where is the infinity for the left hand list? So this sorted element will help as an infinity for the first list. So this is how quicksort works, which is using the partition algorithm. Partitioning was just finding the position of the pivot by taking I and j. So now we come to the part when we will analyze our quicksort, that is find out its time complexity. So first we will take the best case. After applying partition, we divided an array into two sub-arrays, as you can see here. So the time taken will be t of n by 2 plus t of n by 2 plus n. So this n is the time taken for scanning the whole array. So finally t of n is equal to 2t n by 2 plus n. So after applying Master's theorem to this, n to the power 1, so d equal to 1. Now you can see a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 2. We get a is equal to b power d, that is 2 equal to 2 power 1 as d is equal to 1. As a equal to b, hence we get t of n is equal to theta n power d log n. As you know d is equal to 1, so theta n power 1 log n, theta n log n. Hence the best case time complexity of quicksort is theta n log n. One more thing, the best case in quicksort can only be achieved if the array is always partitioned at the mid. Only then the best case can be achieved. So now let's discuss the worst case. You can see her array here. Let's start. Mark this as I, this as j. This is the pivot element 2. So as we know that we will keep on incrementing I until it finds an element that is greater than the pivot, and we will keep on decrementing j until it finds an element that is smaller or equal to pivot. So let's start. Next element is 4, which is greater than the pivot, so mark it as I. Now decrement j. Next element is 18, which is not less than 2. Next is 16, 8, 6, 4. These all are not less than 2. So j will come here. Now you can see that after sorting, all the elements will remain at their same place. So first we will sort 1 out of 7 elements, then we will sort 2 out of 7 elements up till 7 out of 7 elements. So the time taken for this is n. For this will be n minus 1 and up till 1. So t of n equal to n plus n minus 1 plus n minus 2 plus until plus 2 plus 1. So as you can see that this is n into n plus 1 by 2. After applying Master theorem to this, we will get T of n equal to O of n square. So the worst case time complexity of quicksort is O of n square.